And a bill aimed to extend the time convicted murderers and violent offenders in New York State can apply for parole has been shut down. Our local state senator and assemblyman, calling the bill common sense, say they're frustrated and disappointed at the Democratic leaders in the assembly. WENY's Samantha Potter spoke with Assemblyman Palmesano to learn why the bill hasn't even voted on and how it's impacting one Steuben County family.
The question was asked.
Consider the person you love the most. Now consider losing that person. Now consider losing that person in the most horrific, horrible way possible. And then having to relive that every 18 to 24 months.
Well, that's the reality for the Roby family of Savona, whose 4-year-old son was brutally murdered back in 1993. And now they're forced to relive the tragedy every other year as their son's killer is eligible for parole, meaning they have to write letters to the parole board retelling how their son was murdered and why his killer shouldn't be released.
It's very hard because I have to kind of deal with backlash from people. A lot of people blame me for what happened, so I have to deal with that every couple years.
The legislation calls to extend the time period murderers and violent offenders can apply for parole from every 2 years to 5 years. And the law would allow the state parole board to decide on a case-by-case basis whether someone is eligible for parole before the 5 years. While the legislation passed in the Senate, it was held in the Assembly Correction Committee, effectively ensuring it won't be acted on by the Assembly this legislative session.
Without a question. If someone asked me, and I have been asked, what's my biggest disappointment for the legislative session, this bill not being passed in the Assembly.
Assemblyman Palmesano says he'll continue to push the bill when session restarts in January. Since there will be a new legislature, he hopes the bill will have more success. In New York, Samantha Potter, WENY News.